Hey Fluff Bunnies, it's your girl Fluffy, and I'm back with another episode of Worries and Wine. And as you can see today, I'm sitting here with someone entirely different than you guys don't know. And it happens to be Jay's husband. His name is Ron.
Hello everyone.
Yes. So today we are going to come from a whole different perspective, and I'm so excited to have him here on the show because he's going to give us that male perspective that you may have thought we were lacking. So I don't want any males to feel like, are you ever going to have any males on the show? And let me tell you guys, I had the chance to sit with him and eat with him and break bread with him, you guys, and the man is phenomenally smart. And I was so impressed, and I'm so glad to have him here and to have his insight. So I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it as well. And I hope you guys have your wine. This week, I did switch it up. I know for the last 2 weeks I've had the same. What? I have the Stella Rosa, the tropical mango.
Sweet.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is, a sweet.
Good, too.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And let's get into this discussion. So one of the things that I have been more interested in more recently, because I'm fully dating a black man, and to understand what it is to be a black man. What is it like to be that role of a protector, having this security form of the family? What is it like to be in that position? And then what do you struggle with? Like, how are you struggling to be the protector, the provider, the money maker, all of this in one role? Like, there's so much put onto you. Yeah. And then on top of that, to be the black male, what is that perspective like?
Well, first of all, I mean, the role of protector, I think that's just like innate. That's just something that's in us as men. But there's a lot of women that play the protector role in their family, when there's no man around. But the man, or feeling like you have to be the protector, I just feel it's like innate, as you grow up. And I grew up in a single parent household where my mom depended on me to kind of like be the protector then. I was young, but I was supposed to be the little man in the family.
Right.
Hey, little man.
So let me ask you this, because I feel like you made a great point with that. Mm-hmm. You said I was in a single family home. It was just you and your mom. So how do you become the protector and the provider if you did not mention a father figure?
Right.
So how do you fulfill that role as a man today?
But that's what I said. I mean, it's more like an innate feeling where it's kind of like I feel like that was put into me, either by my mom expecting me to be in that role, mm-hmm. or there's an expectation put upon, men in general to naturally take the role of protector, mm-hmm. and provider. That's part of, I guess, what we consider in our culture, as being a provider and a protector, and that's just things that men do. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's something that a woman can do also. Mm-hmm. But just to talk about, the things we want to talk about tonight, I'll just tell you how I feel, taking that role in my family. Okay. So though I never saw it, like you said, mm-hmm. I never saw it for myself. There were plenty of examples, in nature and culture and, mm-hmm. and other things that you see on TV, where the man is, that portion of the family. So I guess just watching this being played out over and over again, mm-hmm. in talk shows and TV shows. And
so you had a lot of outside learning to kind of help mold you.
Right,
okay.
right.
So do you remember some of the things that you were watching? Like, what were some of the shows that you mentioned that may have helped molded you? Or like, if you had to say, some people give a lot of props to Uncle Phil. Because we watched Will Smith not have the father figure, and then Uncle Phil was like stepped in and took in that role. So is that what it was like for you?
No, it actually wasn't.
Really? Please tell me about that.
Okay, so what happened to me was I was young in my life. Mm-hmm. I think I was about 4 or 5, and I got molested.
Wow. Okay.
And this brought up a feeling to me as I kind of like grew up of being aggressive. Mm-hmm. And also saying that I wasn't going to let anybody touch me or approach me, mm-hmm. or even do what they did to me without me being able to protect myself.
Wow.
So first that that came within me about becoming ultra aggressive, ultra protective of just my inner person.
Right.
Just like some people shut down. You know, some people, I guess, you know,
isolation, depression, all of that.
There's a gamut of things you can
Yes.
do. You know, homosexuality, so on and so forth. Things that, you know, when you become molested, those things
that follow after, right?
Exactly.
I understand.
So how I directed that was, you know, I wasn't going to let anybody touch me or love me without like conflict.
Wow.
You know, so I guess that's where it grew. You know, the seed that grew up. That
to
grew
just be
from.
the protector, like it was because you were always protecting yourself. Is that what it kind of felt like?
Yeah, I protected myself first,
right.
And then, like I was saying, my mom expected me to be the protector, the little man. So I just grew up like that. You know, where that's where I got it from. You know, I actually feel like that's where I got it from.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that's heavy, but you know, I think that you took that and almost became positive in a sort of sense. I mean, did you struggle with it being a positive attribute? Like you would say it's a positive attribute now, but what was it like getting to being to that positive attribute? Did you have negative feelings? What did you go through? Trying to overcome that.
Initially it was negative because it was a hard thing to do without actually having that played out in front of you. Just having a mindset of that. B, putting my own self struggles behind to be the type of person that I believe that God will want me to be. Because it's kind of like you have to find a balance between whether or not you're going to be really ultra aggressive or ultra protective. You know, because there's no real middle ground. You're either going to take that and move in a positive direction with it or a negative direction with it. So me, I always thought about protecting little kids and ladies. Opening the door for ladies. I don't, you know, it's like I can't tell you exactly where it came from. Right. But those are like, I believe, like the elements that created this persona within me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so now where you're at in life, how do you feel about it? Can you truly say like, okay, I've overcome that? And if you feel like you've overcame that, then what would advice you would give to someone else who may be dealing with that? Because I know I have a plethora of viewers and they all come from different walks, but to hear someone openly say it, which I appreciate you doing that and sharing that with us, because I understand how personal that is.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and how do you feel about it now?
You know, it's a thing because when I met my wife, and a good woman could play this role so great. It's almost like when a woman walks to a door and stops. Then the instant that they stop, something clicks in your mind and goes, she wants me to open the door for her. So when you have a woman that plays her role, her part, it kind of makes it easier for you to stand in your area that you need to stand in. So when I met my wife, she was the woman that stopped in front of the door and made me open the door.
Oh, okay.
You get what I
so
mean?
it was like you were able to go into that role.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
So it made it easier to play into your role because she was playing into hers. Like, you're going to open the door for me in a sense without saying it.
You're going to be the man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the woman.
Okay,
you know?
wow.
So when you have that kind of pushing you towards, you know, doing something positive, then that's when it works out. And children also. You know, children will push you to the point to where you know, like, I have to be dad now. I have to put up well, you know, my day it was Atari and
right, yeah. Then now they have the PlayStation. They still got the PlayStation. They got Xbox. They got all these things. Yeah, we had Sega Genesis. Yeah. Let's not really talk about our age here.
But you know, but I feel like that's one thing that's missing too with the males, that we don't have that example being put before us all the time. Right. So age comes into play because now there's something that I can show others. You know, so when it comes into a situation where me and another guy sitting there, I could tell that person is this cut from that cloth. You know what I mean? Because of the things they're interested in or the things they talk about or so on and so forth. So, you know, yeah.
So what advice would you give to a young black male that is coming up in the world and he doesn't have a father figure? What is something that you wish somebody would have maybe told you at an earlier age? What is something that you could bestow on our young black males now?
Well, you know, I mean, I guess it would have been always be positive. You know, always take a negative situation, turn it into something positive, and try to be that person. Try to be that person that looks out for others. You know, so it's something that we could practice, something that we could work on a day-to-day basis. Nobody actually ends I mean, people end up to be the finished product, but along the way you pick up little nuggets and stuff like that. So even being on this type of show to even think about what it would take to be this type of person, it makes me feel as if maybe I have something to give. You know what I mean? Through my life experiences like that. So, you know, being an older person, take your time and speak to the young people and let them know, hey, bro, this is how this is and this is how that. Because life is like that. You know, unless we live it or unless we see it, it's harder to do it.
Right. I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, from me coming up, I got to see the positive attributes of having a stepdad that came in and, you know, he could never take the place of my biological father because, you know, my biological father is my biological father. But my stepdad was the epitome of a father. You know, that was dad. That's who I call dad, you know. And so to see you step into your role and you take care of kids and, you know, to be that father, I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think you're probably doing a lot more of a service than you actually think. You know, and you may not even realize it. You just think, you know, I'm just here. You know, I'm in love with this woman. I'm in love with her kids. But it's so much more to be in there, you know, to have that father figure because there's so much that comes along from the absentee of a father figure, you know, because even though my real father wasn't there, some of the things that I struggled with were like fear of rejection, you know, is this guy gonna love me? Is he not gonna love me? But, you know, but having my dad, you know, my stepdad there, and him showing me love and what it was like to be loved, I kind of had to, you know, learn that balance and knowing that there is somebody out there that will love you and take care of you and do things for you and be the quote unquote man. And then you still have your own struggles as being a black male.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to add all of that, to be the protector, to be the father, to be this, you're still a black man, you know, and as soon as you leave the house, it's a constant reminder.
Exactly.
You know, so I give my hat off to you because I see what you're doing and I see how the children respond to you and I see how they respect you, and it is a beautiful thing. And I'm grateful that you were able to come on the show and give us some of that light and share some of you, you know, and that personality that you have and what you bring, and to be a positive figure because somebody could be watching this right now and you just opened up a whole whirlwind, and even the women that are watching to understand what kind of man they may want. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't have him. You can't have him.
But if you stop in front of the door, somebody might open it.
But if you stop in front of the door, which we learned, you might just find yours, you know. So thank you for coming on the show today, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So with that being said, you guys, this is going to wrap it up for this episode. But definitely talk to us about how you felt about having a father figure, a positive figure in your life, or tell us if you didn't have that figure, you know. But we want to hear about it, and I'm definitely going to be responding in the comments. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Worries and Wine. Cheers.